Majesties, Royal Highnesses, ladies and gentlemen, now I call upon Nobel Peace Prize Laureate for 2014, Mr. Kailash Satyarthi. Please come forward to give your lecture.
दुनिया भर के मेरे प्यारे बच्चों, योर रॉयल मैजेस्टीज, रॉयल हाइनेसेस, माय डियर डॉटर मलाला, एक्सेलेंसीज, डियर ब्रदर टॉम हार्किन, सिस्टर्स एंड ब्रदर्स, मैं शांति और मानवता के इस पवित्र मंच से वेद के एक मंत्र को उच्चारित करते हुए बहुत गौरवान्वित महसूस करता हूं। इस मंत्र में एक ऐसी प्रार्थना, एक ऐसी कामना और एक ऐसा संकल्प निहित है जो विश्व को मनुष्य जनित त्रासदियों से मुक्ति दिलाने का सामर्थ्य रखती है। संगच्छध्वम संवदध्वम संभो मनांसि जानताम देवा भागम यथा पूर्वे संजानानाम उपासते। हम सभी साथ साथ चलें, आर्थिक तरक्की और विकास के रास्ते में दुनिया के दक्षिणी छोर से उत्तर तक और पूर्वी छोर से पश्चिम तक हम में से कोई भी पीछे ना रह जाए, हम में से कोई भी बिछुड़ ना पाए। हम सभी साथ साथ बोलें, साथ साथ चिंतन करें और साथ मिलकर एक ऐसे ज्ञान का सृजन करें जिससे समस्त विश्व का कल्याण हो सके। आज मैं सबसे पहले अपने स्वर्गवासी माता पिता को, स्वर्ग से भी महान अपनी जन्मभूमि भारत को और समस्त धरती माता को बहुत विनम्रता से नमन करता हूं। मैं उन हजारों बच्चों को स्मरण करता हूं जिनको आजाद कराने में मैं स्वयं मुक्त होता रहा हूं। मुक्ति की पहली मुस्कुराहट में मैंने बार बार, हर बार उनके चेहरों पर ईश्वर को मुस्कुराते हुए देखा है। मैं इस सम्मान का सबसे बड़ा श्रेय अपने आंदोलन के शहीद कालू कुमार, धूमदास, आदर्श किशोर और पाकिस्तान के नन्हे शहीद इकबाल मसीह और ऐसे तमाम लोगों को देना चाहता हूं जिन्होंने बच्चों का बचपन लौटाने के लिए हंसते हंसते अपना सर्वोच्च बलिदान कर दिया। मैं आज उन सभी लोगों की तरफ से दुनिया भर में बच्चों को आजादी और शिक्षा दिलाने में लगे तमाम कार्यकर्ताओं की तरफ से और मेरे समस्त देशवासी बहनों और भाइयों की ओर से बहुत विनम्रता से आपका यह पुरस्कार स्वीकार करता हूं। भगवान बुद्ध, गुरु नानक और महात्मा गांधी की धरती से नॉर्वे तक की मेरी यह यात्रा विश्व शांति और मानवता के एक छोर को, जो प्राचीन छोर है, दूसरे जो आधुनिक शोध है उसको जोड़ने की यात्रा मैं मानता हूं। फ्रेंड्स, Nobel Committee has generously invited me to present a lecture. Respectfully, I am unable to do that because I am representing here the sound of silence, the cry of innocence and the face of invisibility. I represent millions of those children who are left behind, and that's why I have kept an empty chair as to remind us, as a reminder. I have come here only to share the voices and dreams of our children, because they are all our children. I have looked into their frightened and exhausted eyes. I have held their injured bodies and I have felt their broken spirits. 20 years ago, in the foothills of the Himalayas, I met a small, skinny child laborer. He asked me, "Is the world so poor that it cannot give me a toy and a book instead of forcing me to take a gun or a tool?" I met a Sudanese child soldier. He was kidnapped by an extremist militia. As his first lesson, he was forced to kill his friends and family. He asked me, "What is my fault?" 12 years ago, a child mother from the streets of Colombia, trafficked, enslaved, raped, asked me this, "I have never had a dream. Can my child have one?" Friends, all the great religions teach us to care for our children. Jesus said, "Let the children come to me. Do not hinder them, for the kingdom of God belongs to them." Holy Quran says, "Kill not your children because of poverty." Friends, there is no greater violence than to deny the dreams of our children. Therefore, I refuse to accept that all the temples and mosques and churches and prayer houses have no place for the dreams of our children. I refuse to accept that the world is so poor when just 1 week of military expenditure can bring all the children to classrooms. I refuse to accept that all the laws and constitutions and police and judges are unable to protect our children. I refuse to accept that the shackles of slavery can ever be more stronger than the quest for freedom. I refuse to accept here. My only aim in life is that every child is free to be a child, free to grow and develop, free to eat, sleep and see daylight, free to laugh and cry, free to play and learn, free to go to school, and above all, free to dream. I have the privilege of working with many courageous people who have the same aim. We have never given up against any threat or attack, and we will never. We had made progress in couple of decades. We have reduced the number of out-of-school children by half. We have reduced the number of child laborers by a third. We have reduced child mortality, malnutrition, and we have prevented millions of child deaths. But let us make no mistake, the great challenges still remain. Friends, the biggest challenge or the biggest crisis knocking on the doors of humankind are fear and intolerance. We have utterly failed our children in imparting an education that gives the meaning and objective of life, an education that gives a sense of global citizenship among youth. I am afraid that the day is not very far when the cumulative result of all this failure will culminate in an unprecedented violence, and that will be suicidal for the humankind. Rights, security, hope can only be restored through education. Young people like Malala, I started calling her my daughter Malala, not just Malala. So my daughter Malala and other daughters, including Kainat, in fact 2 Kainats, and Shazia, and the daughters from Africa and from all over the world. They are rising up and choosing peace over violence, tolerance over extremism, and courage over fear. The solutions are emerging. But these solutions cannot be found in the deliberations, in conferences alone, and cannot be found in the prescriptions from a distance. They lie in small groups and local organizations and individuals who are confronting with the problems every day. Even if they remain unacknowledged, unrecognized, and unknown to the world, the solutions are with them. Friends, what is missing now? Of course, my paper is missing. But, yeah, no problem. I will continue without that. We can do it. You may ask that what one person can do. I could recall a story of my childhood. A heavy fire broken out in the forest. Thank you so much. I don't know whether it has happened with some Nobel laureate before or not, but many things are happening today. And the best thing happened that a young, courageous Pakistani girl has met an Indian father, and the Indian father met the Pakistani daughter. So I was telling you the story of my child, what I remember from my childhood. A heavy fire broken out in jungle, in forest. Everybody was running away, including lion, the king of forest. Suddenly he saw a bird rushing straight to the fire. He asked the bird, "What are you doing?" Bird said, "I am going to extinguish the fire." Lion laughed and said, "How can you do it? Keeping just one drop of water in your beak?" But the bird was adamant. She said, "I am doing my bit." "18 years ago, millions of people, individuals, marched across the globe. They demanded a new international law for the abolition of worst forms of child labor, and it has happened. We did it. Millions of individuals together did it. Friends, we live in an age of rapid globalization. We are connected through high-speed internet. We exchange our goods and services in one single global market. Thousands of flights every day connect us from one corner to another corner of the globe. But there is one serious disconnect, and that is the lack of compassion. Let us inculcate and transform the individual's compassion into global compassion. Let us globalize compassion. Mahatma Gandhi said, if we are to teach real peace to the world, we shall have to begin with the children. I humbly add, let us unite the world through the compassion for our children. I ask, whose children are they who stitch footballs, yet never played with one? Whose children are they who harvest cocoa, tasted a chocolate? Whose children are they who are dying of Ebola? Whose children are they who are kidnapped and made hostage today? They are all our children. I remember an 8-year-old girl rescued from intergenerational forced labor, from a stone quarry. When she was sitting with me in my car, right after the rescue, she asked me, "Why did you not come early?" Her angry question still shakes me and has the power to shake the whole world. What are we doing? What are we waiting for? How many girls will we allow to go without rescue? Children are questioning. Children are questioning our inaction and watching our action. We need collective action with the sense of urgency. Every single minute matters. Every single child matters. Every single childhood matters. Therefore, I challenge the passivity and pessimism surrounding our children. I challenge the culture of silence and a culture of passivity, the culture of neutrality. I call upon the governments and intergovernmental agencies, businesses, workers, teachers, NGOs, faith leaders, and each one of us to put an end to all forms of violence against children. Slavery, trafficking, child labor, child marriages, child sexual abuse, illiteracy. These things have no place in any civilized society. Friends, we can do this. Governments must make child-friendly policies and invest in education and young people. The businesses must be more responsible, accountable, and innovative, ready to innovative partnerships. Intergovernmental agencies must work together to accelerate action. Global civil society must rise above the businesses as usual and fragmented agendas. Faith leaders, institutions, and all of us must stand with our children. We must be bold, we must be ambitious, and we must have the will. We must keep our promises. Over 50 years ago, on the first day of my school, I met a boy, a cobbler boy, sitting outside the gate of my school. I asked to my teacher, why is he sitting outside? Why is he not with us in the classroom? He had no answer. One day I gathered all my courage and straight went to the father of that cobbler boy. And he said, "Sir, I have never thought about it. We are born to work." His answer made me angry, and it still makes me angry. As a child, I had a vision of tomorrow, a vision that a cobbler boy is sitting with me in my classroom. Now, the tomorrow has become today. I am today. You are today. Today is the time for every child to have the right to life, right to freedom, right to health, right to education, right to safety, right to dignity, right to equality, and right to peace. Today, beyond the darkness, I see the smiling faces of children in blinking stars. Today, in every wave of every ocean, I see my children are playing and dancing. Today, in every plant, in every tree, in every mountain, I see children are growing freely with dignity. Friends, I want to see and feel this today inside you. My dear sisters and brothers, as I said, many interesting things are happening today. But may I request you to put your hand close to your heart close your eyes and feel the child inside you. I am sure you can. Listen to that child. Listen, please. Today, I see thousands of Mahatma Gandhis, Nelson Mandelas, Martin Luther Kings calling on us. Let us democratize knowledge. Let us universalize justice. Together, let us globalize compassion. I call upon you in this room and all across the world. I call for a march from exploitation to education. I call for a march from poverty to shared prosperity, a march from slavery to liberty, and a march from violence to peace. Asato ma sadgamay, tamso ma jyotirgamay, mrityor ma amritam gamay. Let us march from ignorance to awakening. Let us march from darkness to light. Let us march from mortality to divinity. Let us march